Coach, after off-season, training camp, preseason, how excited are you for these games to get here and tip off the season tomorrow?
Very excited, very excited. The entire group is excited just to get the season underway. It's about time.
Do you like where your group is heading into opening night?
I do. We've prepared. We put ourselves in the position to just see what we can do against another opponent. And I think that's how these guys are looking at it, the focus level, the attention to detail, and the intent in what we're trying to accomplish when we touch the floor.
We saw how physical and close as Miami Magic were last year. To have them on opening night, what kind of challenge is that?
I think it's great. I think it's a great opportunity. I think being on the road to start the season is a great opportunity for these guys to continue to come together. The things that we've talked about from the beginning of the summer to now, their line of communication, their ability to pull forward one another, and going into a different environment. I think that's great for us to continue to grow and build.
As you kind of look back over the last 3 weeks of training camp now with the regular season here, what have you learned about this group that kind of gives you confidence that this team can improve this year?
I keep going back to how well they're communicating with each other, knowing the ups and downs and what's going to happen throughout the season. They've communicated a lot of that already, and I think that's been the biggest point for these guys, knowing exactly what we're facing and how we have to go about it and how we approach it with the mindset of believing what we're capable of doing and then stepping on the floor every night and proving it.
I know it's just game one of obviously a very long season, but what do you look for now that the regular season is approaching that maybe you weren't looking for in the preseason? The difference?
Well, I really just think to start the season, it's the carryover from the training camp. It's not all going to be there right away. So just continuing to grow and build. And you always talk about being able to play your best basketball in March and April. So how do you build towards that in these moments? And again, it's a great thing that you go on the road to be able to start the chemistry building more, as well as facing a tough opponent and how we handle that as well.
Would you agree the next level of success for this group would entail a better road record, playing better on the road?
Yeah, I think every NBA team would want that. I think just being able to win on the road is always important. I think we understand how our home record was last year, and we understand how our crowd and our fans get behind us and what they expect from us and what we expect from them is always fantastic. Obviously, being on the road, it's you against everybody there, and I think that these guys have embraced that, and they're willing to embrace more of that this year into accomplishing things that the growth that we're looking to have.
Last year you guys went to the last game of the season to clinch your playoff spot. I know there's 82 of these things, but do you have to have a sense of urgency about these games, realizing how important each one of them is, or how do you manage that, knowing that you're still kind of growing as a team?
I think you're always growing, you're always improving, you're always trying to get better, and it's going to come in different phases for this group. And obviously, going on the road for the first game is a great opportunity again to come together, to challenge each other, to bond together, to say, okay, it's us, against them in the standpoint of like it's every fan going against us, and our guys appreciate that, and it brings things closer together. So it's one game in this moment, and you're not looking too far ahead. You got to take it one game at a time, no matter how we go.
To get Jalen's extension done yesterday, how do you begin to describe what he's meant to this team and will continue to mean to this team down the road?
You just look at a young man and what he's done, what he's been through, from year one with the injuries, being in, being out, then coming back in, and being able to play, 70-plus games, to make all defensive team. His energy and his enthusiasm for the game, for his teammates, for his brothers, for these fans. I'm just, personally proud and excited for him and his family, and this is a young man who's going to continue to work. And everyone always talks about the extension and the money, about does it change and do we want him to be any different? The reality is the reason why he got it is because he is who he is, because how he works, because how he cares, and how he brings this group together. So I'm extremely excited. We're extremely excited for him.
It seems Jalen's kind of a guy that a lot of people kind of refer to as kind of the heartbeat of the team. As you've seen him develop as a leader and kind of grow in that role, what do you kind of feel like this contract says about that, and also just how do you see some of the guys gravitate to it?
That's what it speaks to. That's what it is. It's saying he's the reason, he's the glue of this team. Guys do come together because of him. The energy he brings throughout games, the energy he brings throughout practice. Obviously defensively, what we're asking him to be, he's the head of the snake when it comes to, starting how we guard. And so our guys get behind that, and they recognize what he provides for us. And I think, the contract is just more of just saying recognition, like this is who you have been, and this is who we need you to be more of. And I think he accepts that. He understands it, and he knows, what a blessing it is to get that. But also, it's a blessing for us to be, locked in with him for the years to come.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank
you.
Franz, you guys have been going through training camp preseason for a while. How excited are you to get out on a road trip and have games count for real tomorrow?
Yeah, it's really excited. Just really excited to get going with this group and just compete with the other teams.
Do you like where the group is entering opening night?
Yeah, I think we're prepared. I think obviously with more years of playing together, I think we're further ahead than in the last couple of years. But it's the first game tomorrow. Obviously, it's a new season. I'm sure everybody's going to be extra excited, and I'm excited to, like I said, get going.
To that end, what stands out about training camp this year leading up to this first game?
I would just say that we know that it's really the first year here that we have some expectations too, and that we talked a lot about our mindset coming into the season. And that we're very aware that we're not sneaking up on anyone, and that we also haven't really achieved anything yet, and that we have that urgency every day, having felt that last year that every game matters towards the end of the season.
To add to last year's success, you guys are going to have to play and win more games on the road. Has that been an emphasis? Have you guys talked about that?
Yeah, for sure. I think we definitely talked about that. I think it's not that easy to do that stuff in practice. Though at the end of the day, it's a game, and we got to go on the road. And I think that goes into the mindset piece that I talked about, coming into the road arenas, and with the right mindset, with the right belief that on any given night we get a win.
What gets you most excited for the first day of the season, first game of the regular season?
It's just always super excited. It's my fourth year, and the time went by fast, and I think it's just super cool that I said there's a bunch already that we've been together for such a long time and really have built something here, and I think that fills everybody with pride, and we want to make sure that we make every change that we get together count.
You guys went to the last game of the season last year to clinch your playoff spot. How do you kind of manufacture? How do you create kind of the urgency, knowing that there's 82 of these things, but every single one of them could be important at the end of the year?
Yeah, I think it's important to have that urgency, but also not be tight going into these games. Like you said, there is a bunch of them, and you got to have a sustainable mindset. You can't be super rigid every day. You're knowing that it's a long season. You want to enjoy that too, and that should be our mindset coming in tomorrow, having the right urgency, but also being loose and enjoying the time.
What was everyone's reaction to Jalen signing this new deal?
Yeah, everybody was super excited. I think Jalen's been through a lot during his 3 years here, and to see his growth. Obviously, we got drafted together, and it's super cool. Obviously, it's for him and his family a really, really special moment, and I'm sure it was a really long summer for him, and I'm just happy for him that he's in a spot like I said, where he feels valued and where he wants to be, and selfishly I think everybody's super happy that he's here for 5 more years.
What does it mean to you guys that, just as a group, that they bring back, Wendell gets a new contract, J.I. gets a new contract, you got your contract, Jalen's got his contract, Cole got his contract last year, Paolo's obviously eligible next year. What does it mean that you guys stay together, that you're keeping all of you guys together?
I think it's super unique in this league, knowing how high the turnover can be on teams and in the NBA, and I don't think we definitely don't take it for granted. Know how special the situation is, and also the vibe that we have here, and I think you can tell that everybody wants to be here and wants to stay here, and I think that's a great thing.
We've asked a lot of you guys kind of about the team's goals for this year, but now with the regular season here, what are you kind of looking to get out of this year?
It's one of those things, like everybody coming into the year wants to win as many games as possible and be successful. And I can be here and say something really cool, but at the end of the day, we got to focus on every day and on the process of how we get better as a team. And tomorrow's just the first one of those.
The Heat is another team that really hangs their hat on the defensive end. What makes them a challenge to play?
They're super physical. Obviously they got a lot of veterans. They've played together a bunch as well, and I think they just have I think everybody down the line on their team plays extremely hard, and especially it being the first game, I think nobody should be tired. So and it's never easy to play there. So it should be a really good test for us.
Jalen, you expressed how much you wanted to be here and how much this city means to you. To get the deal done, just how relieving is it, and how excited are you for the future?
I'm so happy. My heart's happy, and majority of it comes from the journey. It's beautiful when you catch yourself stopping in real time to appreciate moments that God is placing you in. And every message that I got yesterday from family and from friends, from old coaches, all from people who have poured into me throughout the years. And like I've told them, it may seem little, but even the fellowship, the brotherhood, the love, the hugs, all the things, that I've received over the years, and it could have been a small span of time. It goes all the way to my mom and dad. So many people have helped me get here. And it truly does take a village to raise a child, and so many people have played pivotal parts in raising me, as has this organization and the people around it. So, I'm really just giving as many thanks as possible, and all the praise to God, because not only did He call me a ton throughout these negotiations, but He's placed me here in this moment, and it's a beautiful time and a place to be.
Obviously, you've gone through training camp the last few weeks, but is there a weight lifted off your shoulder that, hey, we can just go play basketball now?
I tell you, it is a physical weight lifted off my shoulder. I felt it release yesterday, and it's a great thing. And I'm so happy that everyone was so happy for me. All the smiles and hugs and congratulations I got, and I'm proud of you. All of that was so motivating, because you can see your work paying off and the people that you care about realizing it, which is all that matters. Yeah, definitely a weight off the shoulders for sure, of a lifetime.
Jalen, you talked about the messages that I'm proud of you, but when you reflect on your own journey, how proud are you of yourself and the way you overcame some of the adversity you faced to get here?
Thank you. A ton. I'm very proud of myself. Been a lot of days where I could have went left and right. Me and Mose joked about it, but 3 years ago this time I was in his office, crying tears and having a heart-to-heart conversation about if I wanted to continue playing basketball. And my newfound love for the sport again, my newfound love for myself, and my newfound relationship curated with Jesus, it saved me, honestly. And again, like I said, to see everything now starting to come to fruition and come true. All the conversations with God that we had, about this moment, about the steps leading up to this moment, have all come true. Not in my timing, and that's the best part. That it hasn't been when I wanted it. It was right on time and when God intended it for me to have it. And couldn't be more proud. Couldn't be more happy. And this means the world to me.
You have to wait till Friday to play in front of the home fans, but it'd be nice to come back here with the win, wouldn't it? Get off on the right foot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. How exciting to get to go down to Miami, game one. Right down the road with a team that we know is going to give us a challenge, both mentally and physically. So really excited to get down there, start playing real meaningful games. Not that the preseason ones weren't, but it's different. These ones count when you can't get them back. So excited to get this journey started with my brothers.
So to that point, you guys went into game 82 last year to clinch a playoff spot. How do you kind of balance knowing that there's 82 of these things, it's a long season, but there's still urgency that each one of these games counts and means something?
That's the cool thing about, learning as you go is we got to pick up from that experience last year, and we felt getting down the stretch and getting to that 82nd game at 1 p.m., against Milwaukee, that we did not need to be in this situation. And so many games, as you look back and reflect, that have had an impact on where you are in the present moment. And, it's days like this. It's days, random Tuesday in February, in March, when you really need to lock in and apply the things that we've been teaching. So, getting off to the right start is something that we've spoken about, something that we believe in, and everybody's mind is fully focused on the game and getting this thing rolling.
We talked last week, you kind of talked about how you rely on your teammates a lot, especially through this training camp with everything that was going on. And Jamal just referenced you kind of as the heartbeat of this team. How do you kind of embrace that mentally and going into this year, obviously having all the celebration and stuff from yesterday, but going into this year, how do you kind of embrace that?
The cool thing is that this is all a culmination of me being my pure best self, you know what I'm saying? Haven't tried to be anything crazy, anybody else. It was when I really became myself, accepted myself for who I am, and tried to be the best version of that every day. I wake up is when these gifts and these blessings started to arise, and I think it's beautiful. The simplicity is beautiful, and just waking up, putting good out into the world, and expecting nothing in return, wanting nothing in return. And what a beautiful part about this process has been is I told Jeff even before I signed, I said money's subjective to me. I was my happiest, when I had nothing, when me and my parents, were living in my uncle's basement. I was sharing a room with my sisters, 9th grade freshmen. I feel like you're coming into your own as a man, and I'm coming home after my days and to my sisters in a bunk bed to my right, and those are humbling moments, that build you and build character, all things that lead up to, who I am right now. And so I can lean on that, and being simple, waking up and just being Jalen Suggs. And they love me for it, they embrace me for it, and they encourage me to do more of it. And that's something that I can give them.
Jalen Suggs, time to go there.
Appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, all you guys.